Let's take a look at outgroup members. Outgroups are common and inevitable, and listening and responding to outgroup members is one of the most difficult challenges facing a leader. When a leader fails to meet this challenge, outgroup members feel devalued and their unique contributions go unexpressed for the common good. Good leaders know the importance of listening to all members of the group. It is common to find outgroups in any context where a group of individuals is trying to reach a goal. Outgroups are a natural occurrence in everyday life. They exist in all types of situations at the local, community, and national level. Often, when some individuals are not on board, the performance of the group is adversely affected. Since outgroups are so common, it's important for anyone who aspires to be a leader to know how to work with them. Outgroups can perform other valuable functions. They can help prevent groupthink by questioning assumptions, resisting pressure to conform to a group opinion, and offering alternative perspectives. Outgroups can bring up uncomfortable truths that majority group members may prefer not to face, such as the environmental cost of developing and marketing a new product. Leaders have an obligation and a responsibility to listen to outgroup members and bring them into the efforts of a larger group. There are many different ways to define outgroup members. People are often influenced by unconscious bias. They may prefer working with people who are similar to them in age, gender, or ethnicity, and spend less time with people who are different from them. These difficult people can then, intentionally or unintentionally, become the outgroup. An example of this would be teachers who have favorite students in class, which results in other students feeling less liked or less worthy. Once labels such as lazy or uneducated are used to characterize a particular group, it's hard to erase that perception or association. Leaders should also be careful about using the pronouns we and they when referring to different group members. This reinforces the idea of a clear divide, with one group, we, being more favored. People in each group likely share some characteristics and beliefs with individuals in other groups and may feel more affinity with members of the other group on some issues than those in their own group. Outgroup members refers to individuals who are disconnected and not fully engaged in working towards the goals of the group. They may be in opposition to the will of the larger group or simply disinterested in the group's goals. They may feel unaccepted or alienated. In addition, they may think they're powerless because their potential resources have not been fully accepted by the larger group. Outgroups come in many forms. They can be minorities who think their voice is not being heard, or people who think their ideas are unappreciated. They can be those who simply don't identify with the leader or other members of the primary group. In short, outgroup members sense themselves to be at odds with the larger group. There are many different reasons that outgroups exist. First, outgroups form because people disagree with social, political, or ethical positions of the majority. They sense that they're in opposition to the larger group. When decisions need to be made in organizational settings, consensus is often difficult to achieve because of time constraints and the need to move forward. Without consensus, individuals align themselves either with the majority viewpoint or with the minority, which is often seen as the outgroup. Although voting on a decision is often seen as a desirable democratic approach to reaching an outcome, the downside is that it always results in individuals feeling that they're not in concert with the rest of the group. A second reason that outgroups formed is explained by social identity theory. This theory suggests that outgroups come about because some individuals cannot identify with the beliefs, norms, or values of the dominant group members. In group settings, members embrace the social identity of other group members and make the group's concerns their own. Closely related to the identity issue, a third reason outgroups form is because people sense that they are being excluded by the larger group. They do not know where they fit in or whether they're needed by others in the group. Group members may think that they're too old, too young, too conservative, too liberal, or just plain different from the larger group. People often sense that they're alienated from the larger group. We all have a need for inclusion, and when those needs go unmet, we feel anxious. Developing an understanding of these reasons is the first step in trying to resolve outgroup issues. Why should a leader be concerned about the negative impact of outgroup members? First, outgroup members run counter to building community. The essence of community is encouraging everyone to be on the same page and moving everyone in the same direction. Community provides a place where people can express similar ideas, values, and opinions, and where they can be heard by members of their team. Through community, people can promote the greater good for everyone in the group. However, by their very nature, outgroup members are either in conflict with or avoiding community. Because the community may be seen as threatening, some people feel the need to pull away, and the group is unable to use all of its resources. A second reason that leadership should be concerned with outgroups is that outgroups have a negative impact on group synergy. Group synergy is the positive energy created by group members who are working towards a common goal. It's an addictive kind of energy that builds on itself. Groups with synergy accomplish far more than groups without it. Group synergy is not just the sum of each person's contribution, it's the sum of each person's contribution and then some. Outgroups take energy away from the group rather than adding it to it. If outgroup members are upset and demanding, energy is not directed towards the goals of the group and so has a negative impact on productivity. Every person in a group brings singular talents and abilities that can benefit the group. When outgroups form, the individual contributions of some group members are not utilized and group synergy is compromised. A third reason outgroups are of a concern to a leader is that outgroup members do not receive the respect they deserve from others. A central tenet of ethical leadership is the duty to treat each member with respect. In summary, the impact of outgroups is substantial. When outgroups exist, they have a negative impact on community, group synergy, and the outgroup member themselves. The challenge for every leader is to respond to outgroup members in a way that enhances the group and its goals. More than anything else, outgroup members want to be heard. Whether they perceive themselves to be powerless, alienated, or discriminated against, outgroup members have a need for others to listen to them. Outgroup members have ideas, attitudes, and feelings that they want to express. When they believe they haven't been able to or will not be able to express them, they pull away and disassociate from the group. Listening is one of the most important ways that a leader can respond to outgroup members. While it requires paying attention to what people say, it also requires being attentive to what people mean. Listening is a simple and complex process that demands concentration, open-mindedness, and tolerance. Listening requires that a leader set aside his or her biases in order to allow outgroup members to express their viewpoints freely. When outgroup members think that the leader has heard them, they feel more connected to the larger group. Clearly, listening should be a top priority of any leader. Empathy is a special kind of listening that requires more effort than just listening. It requires a leader to try to see the world as an outgroup member does. Empathy is a process in which leaders suspend their own feelings in an effort to understand the feelings of an outgroup member. While empathy comes more naturally to some than others, it's a skill anyone can learn and improve. Techniques for showing empathy include restatement, paraphrasing, reflection, and giving support. Through the use of these techniques, a leader can assist outgroup members to be understood. Motivation builds when people know they're able to do the work. This is particularly true for outgroup members. Outgroup members become more motivated when a leader acknowledges their contributions to the larger group. All of us want to know that our contributions are legitimate and that others take us seriously. Outgroup members want to believe that their ideas matter and that they're important to the group. In many situations, it's common for outgroup members to believe that others don't recognize their strengths. To address these concerns, it's important for a leader to identify outgroup members' unique abilities and assets and to integrate these into the group process. In small group situations, one of our strongest interpersonal needs is to know whether we belong to the group. Are we in or are we out? The very nature of outgroups implies that their members are on the sidelines and peripheral to the action. Outgroup members do not feel as if they belong, are included, or are in. People have the need to be concerned and connected with others. They want to be in a group, but not so much a part of a group that they lose their own identity. They want to belong, but do not want to belong so much that they lose their sense of self. Although it's not always easy, a leader can help outgroup members feel more included. A leader can watch the communication cues given by outgroup members and try to respond in appropriate ways. Leaders need to be sensitive to outgroup members' needs and try to respond to them in ways that help the outgroup member know that they're part of the larger group. The most well-known study of outgroups was conducted by a group of researchers who developed a theory called leader-member exchange, or LMX theory. The major premise of this theory was that a leader should create a special relationship with each follower. An effective leader has a high-quality relationship with all group members, so outgroup members become part of a larger group. Social relationships are built on good communication, respect, and trust. They often are initiated when a leader recognizes outgroup members who are willing to step out of scripted roles and take on different responsibility. In addition, special relationships can develop when a leader challenges outgroup members to be engaged and to try new things. If an outgroup member accepts these challenges and responsibilities, it's the first step in foregoing an improved relationship because the leader and the outgroup member work together. This results in the outgroup member feeling validated and more connected to everyone else in the group. Giving outgroup members a voice lets them be on equal footing with other members of the group. It means the leader and other group members give credence to the outgroup members' ideas and action. When outgroup members have a voice, they know their interests are being recognized and they can have an impact on the leader and the group. It's quite remarkable when a leader is confident enough in their own leadership to let outgroup members express themselves and have a voice in the affairs of the group. Empowering others to act means a leader allows outgroup members to be more involved, independent, and responsible for their actions. It includes letting them participate in the workings of the group. True empowerment requires that a leader relinquish some control, giving outgroup members more control. This is why empowerment is such a challenging process for a leader. Finally, empowering others is one of the larger challenges of leadership, but it's also one of the challenges that offers the most benefits for members of the outgroup. It's important to note that there are outgroup members that don't always want to be included. According to LMX theory, followers will become part of the in-group or out-group based on how well they work with the leader. In-group members will often take on extra roles and tasks and help out the group or department. In turn, these workers receive more attention and support from the leader and experience greater motivation and job satisfaction at work. Other workers may not like the leader or may not be interested in expanding their role or responsibilities or involvement in the organization, and so become part of the outgroup, receiving less attention and support from the leader. Not all outgroup members mind being in the outgroup.